Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and the ranking member for sticking around so long for me. Thanks to both of our witnesses, our distinguished public servants. Thank you both for being here. I often start my inquiry with the reminder that I spent 10 years as a regulator in North Dakota on the elected North Dakota Public Service Commission. Our nice little 3-member elected body. I have to admit that the sunshine of North Dakota and the transparency of North Dakota's government at first seemed very clumsy to me. In fact, I kind of liked the idea of the old stories I heard about a couple of commissioners get in a room, kick the door shut, decide the thing, come out and tell everybody what the decision is. But it did not take long for me to find the safety in the transparency. And when I ran for this job, I said I want to do for the United States what we've been able to do for North Dakota, lest the United States do to North Dakota what they've done to the rest of the country. And this transparency issue is a big deal to me. And I think it was those years on the commission where we never, I mean no two of us talked about anything in the men's room without appropriate notice and the length of notice, at least for the opportunity to have a hearing, if not the notice of a hearing. And we had a lot to do. I mean, we had a lot to do when we have the fastest growing economy in the world, and we're sort of at the epicenter of most of it, including a lot of telecom, I might add. And never did efficiency trump transparency, because transparency leads to trust. And there are many things about Congress and what I've learned here in several of the agencies where I feel good about being able to go back home and say, you know what, it's not as bad as you think. This is one situation where it's worse than people could imagine, in my view, at least by comparison to my experience as a regulator. That would never, the people in our state would never have tolerated this, and certainly the businesses wouldn't have. So my question is, let me just ask this. Do you ever see or think there could or should be an opportunity where, at least on some issues, major issues, there could be an actual hearing where all of the members would be there and they would ask questions of witnesses, much like we're doing now, or more legal format, discovery, evidentiary hearing, where questions could we get to that point? Is there any reason that we could, or is there any reason why we shouldn't get to that point on more issues? And I'd start with the chairman and.
Yes, we use both. We have discovery capabilities, and in the recent Comcast decision, for instance, we used our discovery. We can hold hearings. We have been of late holding workshops to get more involvement, so it's less of this and more of getting informed people informing us. And for instance, Commissioner O'Reilly and I were the only commissioners who sat through 6 day-long sessions discussing the open internet rule in a way that we make sure that we have a fulsome discussion and record in that. So I think your points are very well taken, Congressman.
Mr. O'Reilly.
I would only add that, and I wrote about this recently, I do think that there can be an opportunity to have hearings with the 5 commissioners and explore issues. I'd be open to that. It's an alternative to having people and witnesses at our open meetings. Where I think that is not being very effective use of time. I think that, actually if we want to have a hearing, I think there could be an exploratory way to go about doing so, and I think that that's something that might be valuable.
I would just wrap up my time by saying, when I was on the commission, we were a 3-member all-Republican commission. We could have passed out any rule we wanted. We had 2/3 majority of our party in both chambers of the legislature. I never once thought it would be a good idea to be less transparent, because frankly, once I got used to the concept, I found great safe harbor in transparency, really. So I just want to tell you, and maybe with the remaining seconds, Commissioner O'Reilly, I mean, if Republicans became the majority and you became the chairman, would your position be any different than it is today?
So I should caution and say I don't plan to be chairman. I probably will never be chairman. I don't sit there and dream about it. But I will tell you and give you my word, and you can mark this down. If that were to ever happen, I believe I will support every change that I'm already made, and all the changes I'm going to suggest going forward be implemented immediately to the process at the commission.
Thank you both for your service and your patience, and my time has expired.
Well, thank you very much.